if he's going to come for him, and then he can plan accordingly what he wants to do there. So it's definitely one of the good moves that you want to do there for you. Right now, Vu's impending, or knows Bajark's coming into his base, so he's going to move back a little bit and reposition, and he knows the fight's going to happen at this corner due to that sentry ward, so he's going to try to make the fight happen with Ensnare, but ensnaring on heroes doesn't last so long. Right now, Bajark's got a good advantage. He's got a slow and casting, will be able to do a lot of damage versus the grunts. The slow and the magic damage will be able to do a lot of damage versus the grunts, but he doesn't have any way of really countering the demolishers and chain lightning and shockwave. He doesn't have any healing scrolls to counter that. Again, you'll see Benark's bringing his militia in. Again, it's not so much a risky move now, but imagine all the resources now he's lost in having to recreate those peons and the time off wood for those peasants. So it works temporarily for the fight, but he actually never gets the good advantage here. Bajark's using his summons and heroes to try to take out those demolishers, but fighting in Vu's base here, there's so many peons around that can mass repair those demolishers. They're not really doing anything. It's just basically a waste of time. And staying here in this fight is probably a mistake on Bajark's part in not being able to take out these demolishers. They're getting free reign on all his casters, and the casters will go down really quick to all this stuff. Vu actually used Scroll of Protection and was instantly dispelled by the priests in Bajark's army, so it's definitely a good move there. When Bajark has his summons out, he's a little bit more confident, and he stays in the fights a little bit longer than I think he should. But in him failing to actually take out these demolishers, it's something that, you know, it's a mistake. You know, he's got to be able to take out those demolishers because they're taking out his whole army right there. So that was definitely a big fight right there in the game. Maybe a turning point, maybe not. He did lose a lot there, Bajark did, and but he's able to produce so many units out of his dual arcane sanctums that he's able to refortify his army as quick as he lost everything. So right now, both players are trying to recuperate their armies, get some healing salts going, and get some mana going on their heroes so they can prepare for another fight. At this point, Vu still has to play a little bit defensively. He knows that Bajark is going to be able to recoup his army a little bit quicker because it's a pretty standard practice that humans are going to be able to get so many units out quicker even after losing so many. So he's got to play a little bit more defensively now. He doesn't quite have the advantage he wants. Although he's got an advantage at the moment. So he's going to play defensively. He's going to stay in his base. He knows that Bajark is probably going to be coming back due to that sentry ward, and he's able to prepare for it a little bit better this time. So again, probably a mistake on Bajark's part, bringing this fight back to Vu. He doesn't quite have the advantage he needs as far as the counters to Chain Wave and the Demolishers. If he's not able to take out those Demolishers and they're able to stay in the back lines and just wreak havoc on his sorceresses, I mean, you just noticed there, half his army just got all in the red instantly by the Chain Wave and like 2 volleys from the Sorks, or from the Demolishers. Scroll speed used. Right now, Vu thinks he's got a good advantage. Some hero sorceresses just came out there to save some weak units and a hero, but unfortunately they didn't save themselves, and they got vulnerable to ensnare. See Vu taking his priorities on the summons because he knows he's going to be able to kill those summons, and the Sorks are still going to be ensnared, so he's setting priorities there. And in the fight, you'll see how quick these players make their decisions and saying, you know, I'm gonna focus on this because I know I still have some more time there. It's a whole other level of play that most average players aren't going to be able to notice and really pay attention to, but you really should. So right now, Bajark's got his advantage. He's actually would have put pressure on the base had he not seen that, or Vu's got the advantage. He would have put pressure on Bajark's base had he not seen that Bajark is moving out here. Bajark's in a very bad positioning here. He's got a Scroll of Town Portal. It might have been actually a viable option to use it right now and get the repositioning, because he's going to get caught here in the river going north towards the Goblin Merchant, and a Chain Wave is going to go off in perfect line and kill a lot of Sorks and Priest all at the same time here. All these Sorks going down. Basically went from a comparable size army to 58. Now it's 58 versus 23 food army, and Beastmaster is now getting surrounded. He's going to go down again here. Wand of Lightning Shield on him to try to do as much damage as he can to the grunts before going down. Fortunately, that Raider came up at the last second, and the Beastmaster does go down for a second time here. Bajark's trying to get a surround on the Archmage. He just barely misses it, and he doesn't have another ensnare ready to go. Demolisher, or a Kodo, was actually brought out now for Vu, and he used it to take out a full HP Water Elemental. Definitely a good idea. Unfortunately, when the timer expires on the Water Elemental, he won't get experience for it, but he does take the Water Elemental out of the fight, which would have it probably would have helped Bajark a lot more to have that water elemental in the fight than to not have it. So that was a pretty key point, turning point in this game. Right now, Vu's pretty much got it in the bag. He's just got to close the deal here. The only hope that Bajark's got now is to pick off little units while they're running. He's trying to bring his Archmage to distract Vu from doing whatever he's doing, but one ensnare isn't going to do it, and he's going to back off a little bit more. Bajark then decides that it's probably a good idea to try to get more of a creep advantage. Right now, it's the hero levels on Vu's side are way higher than the hero levels on Bajark's side, so he's going to try to creep a little bit now. Again, right now the ward's not in there, so it's not up. The Sentry Ward has expired, so Vu doesn't know that at the moment that Bajark is going to be creeping. He does find out, however, when he runs by the Bajark's base, he's going to catch the Beastmaster running towards the mercenary camp to the west there, and he's going to be able to kind of instinctively know that, okay, well, if the Beastmaster is running that way, it's probably because the rest of the army's there. And he catches a timing, or there's a water elemental there too, so he knows he's on the right track. He's kind of following the track there. He almost got an ensnare off on the Beastmaster, but he continually pursues all the way into the mercenary camp, and instead decides to stare at the Archmage. He either wants to kill the Archmage now or force the town portal to leave Bajark without any other alternatives there. So he's bringing his army in for the creep jack. He gets a shockwave off. Doesn't kill any units, but he does stop the creeping going on, and he's able to finish off. Vu's able now to finish off the creep camp and get some really nice items there. Tome of Intelligence and Circle of Nobility for his Farseer, really going to help him out here. Give him some more mana and some more damage with the plus int on that Circlet of Nobility. Again, now he's got a considerable advantage. It's 59 food versus 40 now. Bajark is slowly rebuilding his forces, not as quick as he did the last time, but he doesn't quite have enough army to do any fight, so he has to play a little bit more defensively. He uses Invis on his Beastmaster to, Bajark uses Invis on his Beastmaster to go out and buy a Scroll of Healing. He knows that if he's going to be able to stand any chance at all in this last fight, he's going to need that healing on his whatever units he's got left. He also uses Invis on these water elementals, and when his Beastmaster comes back, he's going to use Invis on the bear and a Quillboar. He needs to be able to get those summons in good positioning past the in the back of Vu's army. He's going to try to position them next to the Demolishers to do more damage to him, because he knows that's one of his main threats right now are those Demolishers. So now the summons are going to be coming out for Bajark, and he's got him all invised up. He's trying to get him into position. He knows he's not going to be fighting this inside his base, because the Demolishers are going to be sitting there pinging the outside of his base. So he needs to make the fight happen right now. He's at the best position he's ever going to get. So he starts the fight by taking his summons off Invis and putting a lot of pressure on those Demolishers. He does get a few Demolishers killed there, but he's in he's not able to defend so much against that Chain Lightning and Shockwave. He does get some Spellbreakers to take off the Skull of Protection, and he uses his Priest to dispel it a little bit, but it's still not enough to be able to do enough damage as he can. He brings his Militia out from the back to, again, put some pressure on these Demolishers. He's trying to do his best to get back there, but he can't bring his whole army and his heroes back there. It's too much of a risk, and he can't lose it all. Chain Lightning goes off on the Militia there, and they all go down. It's level 3 Chain Lightning now. Does 180 damage in a volley, and they were all pretty weak to begin with. So those Militia died valiantly trying to destroy that Demolisher, but they don't actually get it. You'll see now that he's got a considerable advantage. He still has a bigger army. He got an even more big army now. Bajark went from a 40-sized army to now he's at 18, and Vu's at 51. Beastmaster did go down just now a second ago to a Shockwave. And there's a low HP Archmage in the base now, level 3 compared to a level 5 Tauren Chieftain and a level 5 Farseer. He's moving back a little bit because he's slowed, but he's going to come back as soon as Chain Lightning and Shockwave get up. And that's going to be 280, it's like 200 damage from Shockwave in a line and 180 damage from Chain Lightning. And yeah, I think that's going to merit a Thief saying something.
That didn't hurt. Okay, that hurt.
Yeah, that hurt. That was a little bit of an overkill, but it was definitely a good game. Bajark has left the game already, and game's over. I just wanted to say a few last words here. The game is over. I wanted to thank both players and say that they played extremely well, and to have made it this far really shows that their skill is a credit to their respected races. So Vu ended up getting 3rd place, and Bajark sits pretty at 4th for the Northrend realm. My final words, I just wanted to say thanks to the powers that be for setting up this audio commentary contest, and good luck to everyone who sent in audios. Hack the planet! Hack the planet!